A lot of history in this section. That river down there, right by that spot where it bends, Frank Blossom, I don't know if you know the Frank Blossom, it's the spot where he blew his brains out. And that's historical, and it wasn't even like 100 years ago, that was like last week. My name is Terry Von Nuorlans, like the city, but not spelled the same. I think it's a Latvian name, but I'm not that in touch with my Eastern European roots. It's not my focus anyway. I'm 21 years young, and I eat, breathe, sleep, and excrete history. Specifically, I believe my purpose in life is to visually educate the uninformed masses about colonial American history. People often know less about the past than you think. For example, of all the folks that I've talked to over the past year, none of them believed that this was in style well into the 1980s, and that shoelaces were only invented in 1992. So the reason I'm out here in these woods is I'm going to show you that foraging was not just an activity carried out by soldiers during the war to find food and other kinds of cool shit, but it was also used by civilians during peacetime for much of the same reasons. And another little secret reason why I'm out here is I'm going to be conducting my iconic New Orleans style historical ambushes, as they call them, where you find people walking by and you catch them to teach them about history. And through a lot of experience, I've learned that teaching history is a lot like being kicked in the balls. You like it better if you expect it less. Hey! Excuse me, sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Or top of the morning, as they used to say back then. My name is Terry Von Nuorlans, and I'm a historic interpreter. And I saw you were on your hike, that's a really cute hike. But right now, you're going to be my student, because I'm going to teach you everything I know about history.
Okay, all right,
And I'm very good at these interviews, or lessons as I call them. So, get comfortable, maybe
How
take a seat.
long are we thinking? Because I do have a prior engagement. I'd love to help,
Well,
but,
2 hours, nothing too bad.
2 hours.
Yeah. What do you think this was used for?
I have no idea. Gunpowder?
Well, close. This was actually used by the richer officers during the war, the Revolutionary War, to store their cocaine. It would make them just a little bit more confident and brave when going into battle.
Oh, I didn't know that they had cocaine back then.
Well, it was around. It wasn't as popular as it is today. But
sure.
it was around. It was like shoelaces before 1992. I think this one is like a handcrafted replica of the originally used by John Washington during the war. And he'd drink all sorts of cool shit from here, like wine.
Wait. Who's John Washington?
General John Washington, first president.
You mean George Washington?
Well, this lantern was a hot ticket item. It's a replica of the one also used by John Washington at his camp. And this door, not only does it open, it closes too.
That's pretty cool.
And
That's pretty cool.
you can turn these knobs here. I don't know if they do anything, but you can turn the knobs. Are you paying attention? You're not really you're not grasping this stuff.
I don't know. It just feels like you're kind of talking at me right now, Terry.
I am talking at you. I'm great with people. I love giving spiels, if you will, about what our forefathers did, and I think that if a few people won't appreciate my efforts, then it's just their loss. There's time out of my day too, time out of their day.
This is getting a little bit weird, Terry. You're doing this feels like more like it's for you than it is to teach me anything. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna go.
I'm trying to teach you something important, more important than getting your dog scanned or whatever, and you're being rude to me. I have to deal with a lot of ignorant, less than knowledgeable or smart people like yourself.
Do you ever have trouble with the police?
Legally, I can't go into that.
You know what? I'm super interested. Can I take that for a second?
Yes, finally. You're getting something. Oh, hey, give that back. For a while, I've been trying to work my way into the historical circle, if you will, of the state. And I think that I finally found my in with the Historical Society's president, Brian Halltower. He didn't seem to want to talk to me for very long. He mentioned that he was sick, but he seemed to at least agree that I have what it takes to become a member of the society. He didn't explicitly say that, but it was heavily implied. I gathered it.
In my professional opinion, Mr. Nuorlans has no clue what he's talking about. When he came to our building, he spoke to me for about an hour, and in that short hour, several times he got incredibly important historical figures vastly wrong. He's a very stubborn young man and is not willing to admit when he's wrong. And if he is not willing to learn history or study history, he should certainly not be teaching history to anybody.
Behind me is the General Nathan Green homestead, where General Nathan Green of the Civil Revolutionary War once lived. It's a really old, big house with a lot of cool rooms to check out, so let's go for the grand tour, huh?
Sir, excuse me, sir. What? I'm sorry, you can't bring that in there.
Oh, why not?
You can't have an open flame in an old building like this.
Well, if you knew anything about history, you'd know that like people used candles or sometimes light bulbs back then to light these old houses, so there's no reason not to let me in. I mean, just look at this thing. It looks
Yeah,
great.
that looks amazing, but you cannot bring it in there. I'm sorry. Now look, I have to go pick up a tour group by the cemetery, so you can either buy a ticket or get the heck out of here, okay?
Joe, give me the lighter. Yeah. Let's go.
Between you and myself, off the record, I don't just believe this man is a moron. I believe that he could possibly be a danger to society.
No, I'm not gonna comment on the incident, you know. The fire, fine. The elephant in the room, the fire at the homestead. Nathan Green would be rolling in his grave. But let's get something straight. It was not my fault the floorboards weren't properly maintained. I mean, the homestead probably wasn't originally that flammable 200 years ago, but I don't know what these idiots have been doing since then. Spraying gasoline all over the floorboards because they went up instantly. If they were going to ignore historical accuracy so much by not letting me in with that candelabra, which was awesome by the way, then they might as well just include sprinklers. You know, I think I learned something through all this. History isn't for me. That's not what I'm going to do anymore. I've had it. And I'm not going to ruin my life with this thing, so I'm going to get into porn. So be sure to, in the near future, check out your nearest adult website and look for Terry Von Spanks. I won't be wearing the stupid wig, but you'll recognize me.